the webinar. So I hope more people will join. At the moment, it's our 11. We were more than 50 registered around. So let's hope, but not to start as we agree with the time. Again, welcome. Can you see my slides very well? Just also one more confirmation. Can you see it? Okay, there is some chat. Yes, okay, perfect. So just to give you an overview what we're gonna be talking about today, what we're gonna cover. So first of all, I will take you through some overview about our project. What is the NGI Explorers program? What is the scope? What are the expectations, our objectives? And that will be the intro to the open call itself. Then my colleague, I believe Diana, but we will see from Zabala, will take you through all very important content concerning eligibility criteria and all must know information regarding documents that you will need to submit to perform a successful application. Then again, I will give you a very quick tutorial on F6S platform to show you exactly how you can navigate and what is really important to pay attention to while applying there. And then finally, my colleague Jose from Interinov will give you, will elaborate on our US partners, who they are, what they want, what they can provide to you, and how they're gonna be supporting you. And of course, at the end, it's dedicated plenty of time for question and answer. I would suggest you already, if some question pops up during the presentation, you can write them directly in the chat. And then at the end of the webinar, we will be coming back to them and answering one by one. I see there are some unmute partners, so I will mute everyone so then we don't have any background noise. Okay. Okay, so my turn. I will start. What is the NGI Explorer program? Just to introduce myself, I'm Eva Stefanik. I represent F6S company, Network Limited, that I will give you a few notes later on about the partners, and I'm the coordinator of that project. So what is the next generation internet? We're gonna be referring quite often to that term, to that definition, and we want you to understand what is it? Well, the next generation internet is an initiative launched by the European Commission. It was launched in 2016 with an aim to reshape the future of internet with a strong concentration on a human-centric internet. Well, what does it mean in practice? In practice, it means money. It means budget, it means investment plan. As you can see on the slide, this budget is fully dedicated to escalate disruptive, the focus areas that were selected as the most relevant to shape the digital economy of Europe in the next 15 years, actually not only in Europe, all of the world. And those focus areas you can see on the right, on the circles, I can just mention a few. So we have with artificial intelligence, we have blockchain, big data, Internet of Things, 5G, and so on. And at the same time, all those focus areas are also focus areas in our program. Oh, okay. There is this, okay, I can see that you don't see the new slides. Okay, sorry, because that was paused, I believe. Let me check again what is happening. Okay. Can you see it now? Can you confirm? You can also unmute yourself. Okay, let me, yes, okay, perfect. All right. Okay, so this is the very first slide of the content. Don't worry, I can show you, believe me, there was okay, there was just this. So we are all on the same page now. So as I mentioned, all those focus areas that you can see on the right side are also our focus in our NGI Explorers program. And probably I can assume that some of you have already started the application and you are very aware that this is what we are the most interested in concerning your proposals or the challenges that you're gonna be applying to. So who we are, who stands behind the NGI Explorers program, and how does it started? Well, our vision was that we believe that, you know, the bright minds, bright ideas should not face any boundaries. And the Europe Research and Innovation should be really open to the whole world for collaboration. And we stated our objectives, basically main three objectives, such as fostering the Europe and United States exchange in the next generation internet initiative. We want to stimulate and exploit the NGI products, services, and of course, we want to build a cooperative, vibrant ecosystem and escalate the networks between those two continents. And our team is, as I mentioned, F6S. F6S is leading this project. F6S is the worldwide largest social platform for startups, with over 3 million registered profiles and of startups, and I believe over 1 million tech startups. And we are providing like a brokerage services. We are providing like an umbrella of services for startups, trying to connect them with the right founders and support them throughout the journey. Then we have excellent Interinov, our experts of the US partners. Interinov is a tech strategy company with an aim to escalate the impact of the cutting edge research and innovation. They really have a strong mission to catalyze the strong potential of Europe science and technology through creating synergies and bridging the gap to the global market. And then last but not least, of course, we have Zabala Innovation Consulting, our expert on cascade funding management and innovation services provision for the SMEs, for the startups within the European ecosystem. They have a really broad experience the involvement in the European projects, and they've already portfolio over more than 600 organizations. So I would say you are in good hands if you're gonna be selected, and we will be definitely supporting you also using our networks and knowledge. So the program itself, what is the NGI Explorers program? Well, we are approaching internet talents. Internet talents, we want to send them to, we call it technology expedition to the United States. What it means in practice is a fellowship. It's a fellowship, meaning we will sponsor your stay of 3 or 6 months in the selected United States partner for the purpose that you develop your idea, you develop your proposal, and you will be, working hard to turn it on a product-oriented research. Researchers and innovators are on our target, but this will be better explained and elaborated on the second presentation. So I will leave you here. We will be just calling you explorers. So you will be exploring the US market with your ideas. The mission, well, the project started this year in January, so it's everything fresh. You are joining the very fresh journey. You can be a very front runner. Also in the next generation internet ecosystem, our mission is that throughout 3 years, we will bridge some new opportunities for collaboration, thanks to you, thanks to our support to you, between Europe and the United States. And of course, we will really focus on exchanging your talents and knowledge. But of course, as I said, with the strong purpose on a product or service-oriented research within the next generation internet initiative. So who are those US nodes partnered? Also very briefly, as there is a dedicated time to them. So US nodes, we call them like that, but in practice, these are simply your hosts, where you're gonna be staying and developing your ideas. We are approaching 2 types of organizations. On the one side, there are academic organizations, so universities, well, the interest is driven by research, of course, and advancement on the technology. And on the other side, we have a business organization where they're more interested in application of disruptive technology and tailoring this to business models to the market. Let me check what is in the chat. Okay, yeah, perfect. Further, what is the timeline? Very important that you understand what, when, and what's gonna be happening once you're gonna be selected, and if you can really tailor your agenda to that. So we are currently in the in so-called round one, the first open call. The project will run 3 open calls, but this is the first one. We are in the submission phase. So we started the call in the May. The call will be closed by the end of July 2019, at 12 p.m. noon Brussels time. So you have a little bit more than 1 more month to apply and finalize your application. Then right after, we will jump to the evaluation phase. Evaluation will be also explained by Diana, by Zabala team. So just to briefly tell you that the timeline for that is that you should expect the results by the end of September, the latest the first week of October. We will communicate the results, and once this is communicated, we will be contracting you in a very quick way. We will be very quick, meaning to give you as much time as possible for all the visa administrative issues to solve. So after contracting, you will be invited, and this is actually all obligatory activity. You will be invited to immersion events. Someone has, so I hear some background noise. Please mute if possible. You will be invited to immersion events, which I will explain in a few slides broader. It's a few days events. Then you will have that November and December, 2 months basically dedicated to arrange your visa. This is very important. And once this is arranged, we will be, of course, supporting you in that in collaboration with the US partners, but still the biggest effort is on your shoulders, because you must understand what is really required concerning your nationality and concerning your consul or embassy that you're gonna be applying at. So the first expedition will start in January. We will be sending already selected explorers for the period January-June 2020. Well, expedition for 3 months, they have flexibility to choose which month they will go. The most important is they must finalize in June, not later, and it must be 3 months in a row. At the end of the expedition phases of all explorers, we will run a half-day event, the so-called NGI Explorers Oscars, where we're gonna be awarding really top explorers, outstanding performance from explorers and US nodes. And yes, and we will be, trying to provide further support if the idea has a potential on the markets. What we have further suggested in more details, to be very brief, immersion event. Immersion means that we're gonna meet for 3 days. To connect, exchange, and collaborate. That will be sort of intense bootcamp. During that bootcamp, we will provide you like a master classes of very important topics, like a knowledge transfer, business models, marketing, and so on. And of course, we will be helping you defining your fellowship objectives as expected impact in a form of master plan, because you're gonna be, as you will hear, you're gonna be paid also against deliverables that you will need to present us on every stage of your expedition. During the immersion, you will also be assigned to so-called mentor. We are providing you mentorship that with your selected mentor, you will be communicated on a regular basis during your stay in United States. So we're gonna be supporting you if at any stage you need something or there are some issues, you will be always connected with us, and the mentor will be sort of a mediator between the consortium and the US nodes. Well, the expedition, of course, is dedicated, as I mentioned, to the development of your project in collaboration, of course, with the US nodes. We, as from our side, will be also providing you the business support using our expertise. And of course, the final sort of goal objective is always to really go from research or knowledge to really know technology transfer oriented activities, and that's what's gonna be happen. I can already tell you that the immersion location is known. This will be Lisbon, Portugal. Most probably this will be 3rd week of October this year. So that's why we will be willing to communicate to you as soon as possible the results, so you can arrange arrange your agenda to really join us. Okay, what we have more? So I think I will be already finishing. Just to wrap up, how you can get all the things that I have mentioned. Well, you need to apply to our open call. The goal is, of course, that we really want to send you for a transformative journey, as we like to call it. But in practice, it means that we want you to catalyze your idea within US environment community with support from our side, from European side. For who is for the researchers, innovators from the Europe and H2020 countries. You're gonna hear a little bit more in a second. And what we offer in a package, we will sponsor your trip, your stay there. We will give you the chance to work directly with the US partner to escalate your idea. We are providing you free mentorship support. You directly gonna be connected with the next generation internet community, because NGI Explorers is not an individual project, it's a one out of many projects that has been launched so far within the next generation internet framework, and there will be more. So we are all growing and developing, and of course we are giving you the chance to solve directly a challenge that you can find on our website, were defined by the US partners. And that's it from my side at the moment. I'm giving the voice to Zabala team. So Diana now will tell you all the requirements to perform a good application. Let me share the Zabala. Okay. Diana, do you have access?
I think so. Let me check.
If there are some troubles, I can move the mouse and then you will tell me when.
Yeah, I don't think I have control.
Yeah. You don't have?
Right now, yeah, it's fine.
Yes? Okay.
Hi, everyone. This is Diana from Zavala. As Eva already introduced us, I'm not gonna waste more time on that. Just so you know, I'm here with my colleague Esther, and we will be sharing this this section of the presentation. So just so you know, here, let me try.
Okay, otherwise I can move maybe.
Yeah, we are there. So this is the contents of this section of the presentation. You can see that we will be covering most of the topics about the submission process and also what happens after submission. That means evaluation, and if you are selected, how is the payment structure and everything that you have to keep in mind. Okay, so with no further ado, we'll get on with it, and I will leave Esther to tell you all about eligibility.
Okay, so concerning the profiles, let's say, in this case, the program supports the application from the following profiles. On one side, we are welcoming researchers. This means all those holding a master's degree or higher and are employed in third-level education institutes, research centers, non-profit organizations, and also scientific foundations and public research centers. And in another side, we are also welcoming innovators. In this case, we are referring to internet technologists, which are representing high-tech startups, micro, small, or medium-sized, SMEs, mid-caps, and other, all them are working in the focus areas that we mentioned already before in the slides. Then concerning the type of beneficiaries, the candidates mentioned before must be employees in any of these entities. So we are talking about universities, which includes, of course, tertiary education and research institutes, also research centers, including public or private institutions for basic or applied research. It includes also mid-caps, That is middle capitalization companies, so those between 250 and 3,000 employees. And finally, SMEs or also candidates coming from startups. Then all these entities must be established in any of the eligible countries. These are member states of the EU. It's including also the overseas countries and territories, which are the countries that you can see there on the slides, and also H2020 associated countries. So you can find in the list that we are providing there, which is the currently the updated list of associated countries. So next, concerning the application options, you can participate in the program through the 3 different approaches. We have the open ideas, then the challenge, and the pair teams. So concerning the open ideas, it's referring to, in this case, applicants may submit a proposal around their disruptive idea that they can propose, which is based on their own line of research, product, or service, as long as they fall under one of the focus areas, again, that we were mentioning before. In this case, the NGI Explorers Consortium will identify and match which is the best US node for your proposal, taking into consideration the common priorities, also together with the US nodes. Second option is the challenge. In this case, prior to the launch of the call, the US nodes have already identified which are the challenge or the needs they have addressing the focus areas mentioned. So in this case, the applicants may submit a proposal to a specific challenge defined by the US nodes. In this case, you can again find in the website for application, which are these nodes, and for each of them, which are the specific challenge that they are interested in for every focus area. And finally, the third option is the pair teams. I guess in this case, our colleague Jose, also from the consortium, will provide you some further details on this approach. Are you there, Jose?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect, thank you very much. So the third option, which are the pair teams, is basically in case that you or your specific organization, for example, like a research center, is already working with a partner in the US because you have a preliminary research line of work. This isn't the option in which we allow you to propose your idea with that specific partner. So instead of like applying to the open call with the 16 US partners that we are providing in the network, these are the organizations that we have teamed up with so far. We allow you to actually to work with your specific partner in the US. So I mean, we understand that we cannot really basically reach out to all the organizations in the US. So we allow you to really to propose your specific idea with that specific partner in which you are already working in the US. So this third option is in case you already have a US partner, or even you have a branch of your company in the US. This is a really good opportunity in case you want to send someone from your team or even yourself to your specific branch in the US. So again, this is a totally flexible option in which we decided to disclose it because we understood that we want to also bring the opportunity for those of you that are already connected in the US. So this is probably the best option for you.
Okay, so thank you, Jose. I will take it from here. Yeah, okay. So what happens after submission? This is the structure for the evaluation process. once the submission deadline that Eva mentioned, the 31st of July is over, your proposals will first go through a preliminary eligibility check, just to meet, to confirm that they meet the general criteria for the role. That means that all the documentation is provided, if it's needed, and that all the sections in the online submission form are correctly filled in, and so on. Next, we will have the expert review. In the program, we already have an external pool of experts that will undertake detailed evaluation of your proposal. This would be from both the technical and a business approach. So in the guidelines, you can find all the evaluation criteria regarding the excellence of the proposal, the impact of the proposal, and also your profile, because it would all be assessed as a whole. So if your proposal meets the requirements and it's over the thresholds that are defined for the review, you will be shortlisted, so to speak, and you will go through to the next phase, which are the online interviews. We will get in contact with you, and we will invite you to an online interview just to get a sense of more details about your proposal and get to speak to you directly. Okay, and the end result, if you're lucky enough to be selected, we will publish the code results. As Eva mentioned, this would be either late September or early October this year. So yeah, we will get in contact with you if you are selected, and that will kickstart the next part of the program. Will be the contracting phase and also the immersion. So you have been selected and you're on your way to your expedition. So exactly how and when are you going to be paid? The payment structure for the program, as you know, these funds are entirely from the European Commission, and they will cover exclusively travel and subsistence costs for your expedition to the US. So in this particular case, we are considering a fixed rate of 4,650 euros per month. So that will result in the numbers you have here on the slide. For 3-month expeditions, you can get up to 13,950 euros. And the same goes for 6-month expeditions, which will amount to 27,900 euros. When will you receive this payment? They will be released accordingly to each steps of the program that Eva mentioned at the beginning. So first, you will get 40% once the immersion bootcamp is completed. So you can have this funding prior to the beginning of your expedition. Then another 45% will be released at the end of this expedition. This 45% would be dependent on the milestones that you have defined for your expedition. And we will, of course, as Eva also mentioned, we will provide mentorship and coaching for all of the explorers. So you will also receive the 15%, the last 50%, at the NGI Explorers also. You will need to attempt to get that 50%. So reference documents, everything that we are speaking of today, it's in the guidelines for applicants. I cannot stress this enough, because this is the document that you always want to refer to for any question. In the guidelines for applicants, you can find everything concerning the call, everything about timelines, about eligibility criteria, everything about beneficiaries and the conditions, and also dates, and you know, mostly everything that that you should know about the call, it's in that document. So if you have any questions, you can go through it and also contact us in the FAQs. We have a dedicated email to actually go through your questions and get back to you. Another reference documents that you might go through on the initial basis is the 50 questions. These are uploaded to the website, the NGI Explorers website, so you can read through the most common questions before you actually get in contact with us. More documents that you might have an interest in. There is an online submission form. Apart from the F6S platform, we have prepared a template, a document template that you can actually read through before going through with your application. So you can have a general sense of what each section is asking for and how to get to see your way through the form, so to speak. Next up is the Declaration of Honor. This is a very brief document detailing the standard commitment for you as an applicant to the call. It just confirms that you are willing to participate and that all the data relied in the online submission form is valid and true. And it's just a procedure that we have to check to go with the procedures with the open call. And last but not least, there's the statement of commitment, which would only apply to you if you are choosing the pair teams option that Jose detailed at the very beginning of the section. This is just a declaration from your partnering organization in the US that they are willing to commit to the program. They are willing to host you for the duration of your expedition.
And finally, we wanted to stress a couple of things which are also important to consider. On one side, we have visa related issues. So all the candidates applying to the expedition must be a valid passport holders in any of the countries mentioned before. That it's in the EU member states, in one of the overseas countries and territories, or in any of the associated countries from H2020. Additional explorers are required to obtain a visa for the stay at the hosting US node. In this case, the J1 visa is the official recommended one, which is a non-immigrant visa issued by the states for research scholars, professors, and exchange visitors. Just note that we, the NGI Explorers program, may support you by providing an invitation letter if it's required. And finally, we have the insurance. In this case, the explorers are responsible to ensure that their health insurance coverage meets the regulatory requirements in the US. In this case, you have there in the link provided below, which are the insurance minimum requirements for the GA1 visa. And just note that it's a responsibility from the explorer to maintain active insurance coverage during the stay. And this is could be ground for termination from the program. So that's it from our side, from Zavala. So we're giving the floor to our colleague, Jose.
No, actually that's gonna be me. Can you hear me well? Yes, I will take you, as I mentioned, for a very quick tutorial, how to really directly apply to the call. We received some questions in the past. What is the platform to apply? Well, F6S is the only valid platform to apply to the call. So how it looks in practice, can you see my screen, just to be sure? You can confirm, yes, that you can see it?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So, well, you can see, of course, my profile, you have your own profile. What is very important, I believe you have already heard a very quick, a very brief, actually not very broad introduction, but you still, you know, I advise you that you really go and quickly read, but there are 5 sections. The very important section regarding your proposal is section 3. And of course, your profile and background that will compose and make a fusion of your application. So it is very important that before application, you will really distinguish what is your interest and what is your track of application, because there is one application for all possible tracks. So you need to identify either you are applying for open ideas, or you are applying for a challenge, or you are applying for the Perch Aims. And it's really written here, every time you apply for the one section, you really need to then choose that this other option is not relevant for you, and you don't need to provide an answer because every question is required. So you are forced to provide any type of answer, but we are giving an option that, you know, you are saying it's not relevant for me. So if you go for the open ideas, for example, obviously you will not go for the challenge and then directly you will put, it's not relevant for me, and for the third teams, you just write NA, not relevant, not relevant, not relevant. This is just to make it clear. We haven't seen any trouble so far, but we always want to highlight this distinction, because sometimes it may become confusing for some applicants. All the codes, what you can see for the challenges, you really need to go to the website to see and read exactly every challenge. If you are interested, I would say prior to the application, to really check the description of the challenge, the requirements of the United States. Are you eligible? Some of you, the United States partners, want only researcher or want only innovator. So you really must be careful looking, and some of them really provide restriction concerning time. Some of them want only 3 months, some of them 6, where majority of them are open for all options concerning the profiles and of explorers and the time, but there are some distinction and you really need to pay attention to. So this is important to mention. Further, of course, if you have your own additional US notes, you are providing all the required information here, so we can have a contact, we can confirm that this partner is interested, and he confirm that he will be collaborating, or she will be collaborating with you. And then you really need to upload here the statement of commitment that Diana mentioned. It is only for the Perch teams. It is not required, the sign, but of course for the Perch team it is required. To keep that in mind, don't forget about this. Then of course your background, this is very easy. What is very important to mention, what we have realized, so these numbers of the words is for a reason. So please keep in mind that your application will be afterwards seen by the external evaluators, and 1 or 2 lines may not be enough to present yourself. That's why, sorry, there's a question?
Yeah, Eva, it's me, it's Diana.
Yes.
We're not seeing the application form right now. I don't think you're sharing your screen.
Really? Oh, sorry. Let me see.
Yeah.
What's happened to? But that's strange, because let me go back and I will try to open again the link. We will see what is happening. Because in the very beginning it was in. Can you see it now?
No, maybe maybe you're only sharing your application.
No, it should wait. I will abort control to you, and I will check again if.
Okay.
This is strange. It should be. Does it share now?
No.
Okay, let me check the new share. Maybe if I will go to the Safari, let me check.
Right now, yeah.
Yes, can you see it now?
Yeah,
okay. Excellent. Well, sorry for that. We lost some time, but just very briefly wrap up, you really need to be aware again which option you are applying to, and this is, you know, you select here the option of your track that you apply. And then what I was mentioning, what is important, all the codes here, you will be able to check on our website what they refer to. And then you need to check a profile in PDF of each challenge to really make sure you're eligible to that challenge to apply. And what I mentioned here concerning Perch Aims, if you have your own US partner, you provide all the data here. And this question number 8, it's not stated as required, but it is required for all the Perch Aims applications. So please don't forget to submit here the commitment, the statement of commitment. Here, what I was mentioning in the second section and so on, when you have a space for text to write, I was mentioning that those numbers here that you can see are for the reason, meaning that this is for your own good to express yourself and provide the most relevant information about yourself, and attractive that, you know, that there will be something that our external evaluators will be reading, and they will be checking by all the description if you are eligible, not only eligible, but, you know, if you are the right profile to be sent to the United States. Please don't include links to any other big documents, because the evaluator will have a fixed time per evaluation, and they will be really evaluating only what is written here. There won't be like a possibility to go and check some other website with the links. So there is enough words to describe yourself in the section of your profile. Then of course there is a section that you can upload your CV when you can provide more information if required. And there is a section for your proposal. This is also one important thing to mention, because some applicants got confused that if they apply to challenge, they provide sort of shorter description of their proposal. No, all the proposal, regardless, is it open idea, or is it addressing a challenge, or is it a Perch Aim open idea, all have the same requirements to provide the relevant description. Of course, the title for the challenge may be already stated by the United States. It can happen, but how you're gonna be really, you know, approaching that challenge or your open idea, this is something that you need to provide us information. This is at least this is max 500 words with a clear abstract, so we really can get an insight from your application whether you are ready and your idea, you know, is relevant to within the next generation internet and the expectation and from our US partners. So this is important. This is also required. You need to attach the design, and I believe that's the most important thing that I wanted to mention here. The impact, this is also a very important section. You have, you know, quite bigger numbers of words to include when we ask you to really, you know, to write what is the value proposition of your project. Here is your space to convince the external evaluators that you are the right choice. And of course, this is the very administrative data. Nothing important here to mention, everything is clear. And then of course, here you need to really read first the declaration of honor, and then you have the only one option if you want to apply, you really must agree with the declaration of honor by NGI Explorers. And that's it from the tutorial. And let me be back to the presentation. And I will give the word to Jose, because due to that, can you see now the presentation again?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Give a word to Jose, because I believe we took some bit of time because I got confused with the sharing. Okay, Jose, please start.
Okay, Eva, maybe you can just keep the control of the slides, because if we want to just to avoid some time. Okay, so for the part.
What? Yeah. Oh, sorry, yes. It's very sensitive, I must say. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So, I mean, what I was saying before, I mean, right now, before starting the open call, the NGI Explorers decided to get together a pool of US organizations, so we can actually send somewhere to the Explorers. So these are the list of 16 US organizations that have joined us in the program. So these are the opportunities where you will be able to visit in the US. So I mean, pretty much in the website you will find the specific profile of each one of these organizations. As you can see, most of them are right now universities, but I mean, please be aware that even though they are universities, most of them are also eager to welcome innovators. So, I mean, don't feel like, okay, these are universities, so I cannot really apply to them, because most of them are really huge opportunities to to develop your ideas. For example, the George Washington University, Iowa State University, the New Jersey Institute of Technology. I mean, there are huge opportunities here. We have left in the website a small profile about each one of them, including the potential candidates that they're looking for, as well as the specific challenges that most of them have defined. So maybe, Eva, can you take a look to the profile just to show the participants how it looks?
Yes, let me quickly check. Can you see the screen?
Yes. So, I mean, pretty much this is the 1-2 pages about the short profile of each one of these partners. For example, we have picked up here the University of Washington. I mean, just for your information, we are not working with the university as a whole. We are really working with a specific. Can you go a little bit above? Yeah. So we are working in a specific department. So at the end of the day, you will be in contact with our main contact point in the US. So in this particular case, we are working with the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineer. Here we provide a snapshot on the university, but also on the specific department of Electrical and Computer Engineer in this case. And in each one of these profiles, we put on the bottom of the profile what they're looking for. For example, if they are eager to welcome someone with an open idea, or how many challenges they have posted on the website, whether they are looking for researcher, innovators, both of them, and how many months they are willing to welcome someone. In this specific case, the University of Washington is welcoming people with open ideas, but also they have provided 2 specific challenges that if you scroll down, you will see a little more information about it, the goals, the specific details, the skills that they are looking for, as well as, a link to the guidelines, as well as the apply now. And on the left side, you will see the different focus areas in which they are looking at. We will shortly update the focus areas for the open ideas. We put it on the website, but it's pretty much similar to the ones defined by the challenges. Okay, so here is a little bit an example of what a profile of which one of these partners look like. Okay, so feel free to go to the explorers.ngi.eu, and there you will find all the profiles. So Eva, if you can switch back to the slides.
No.
Yes. So again, I mean, just remember what I mentioned. What we mentioned before. I mean, there is this third option, which is the Perch Aims, which means that again, I mean, we have 16 US organizations that kindly joined the program because they believe in the initiative. But you can always propose your own US partner. I mean, an organization based in the US, where you can actually propose your idea to go there, and it doesn't have to be part of this network of 16 US nodes. Okay, just please keep. I mean, I just wanted to highlight this because I mean it's important that you also take this into account. Okay, so I mean, what is the motivation for these US partners that have joined us? Okay, first of all, they don't obtain any funding, so the European Commission is not supporting financially these partners. So why they actually join us and they join the program? Okay, first of all, it's because they really believe in the opportunity to work with the European talent. I mean, as Eva was mentioned at the really beginning of the presentation, we want to really support and sponsor really high and top level internet researchers and innovators. So they really see the opportunity to welcome someone with this, with this profile, to work with them, to learn from them, and also to share the knowledge with them. Second of all, I mean, they really believe that joining the program could be actually an opportunity to become a front runners in the US. I mean, the next generation internet, which is this framework from the European Commission, it's starting pretty much. I mean, just for information, have signed a mutual agreement with NSF, with the National Science Foundation in the US. So having these synergies with the European community and also with the NGI Explorers, for them is also somehow an opportunity to apply for grants in the US. So, and last but not least, of course, I mean, it's an opportunity for them to have access to the European market and technology. One of the main goals for this program is to really, gain the insight of the US and American mindset. And this is why we want to sponsor the trips to the US, because they have a really market-driven mindset, and always, having this in mind, it's an opportunity for them and should be also for us. Okay, so what they can provide, just quickly. I mean, most importantly, they will be the catalyzers of the transfer of knowledge. I mean, they will help you to improve your ideas in many ways. So they will be the key point for catalyzing the stay in the US. Of course, they always will support to obtain the visa. They will provide support letters to obtain the visa. So it won't be just by yourself. You will always need the support from their side, and they are eager to do that. Of course, they will provide the physical space where you will actually have your experience there. I mean, you won't be just led by yourself. You will have actually a space where you will actually be working. And this is actually related to the next point. You will be integrated with your daily activities and their teams. I mean, the idea is that it's not that you go there and you work with your staff and then come back. No, actually, our idea is that you go to the US, work with them in a really deep way, and try to get as much insights as possible. And we will also be providing mentorship, but there will be the first-hand mentorship and guidance, for a better adaptation. At the end of the day, they are the ones in that specific city, so they will help you with what pieces of advice and so on. So pretty much they will be the first responders for this guidance. Okay, so I don't know if you have, no, pretty much this is all the information that I wanted to share with you about the network that we have in the US. But I mean, just to try to keep it as short as possible, because we have some questions. I will stop here, but I mean, feel free to always to contact us, explorers@ngi.eu. We will, reply as soon as possible. I mean, pretty much within the same day. You will have always more information in the website. And I mean, of course, I mean, we encourage you to follow us on NGI Explorers on Twitter. Okay, so now what we can do is to go through the questions that I have collected. So maybe we can start with the first one, which is the one from Vladimir, which is about the entrance to the US. I mean, he's actually asking us if anyone who is traveling to the US is obliged to disclose social media handles of or passwords. Pretty much what I can tell you from my own personal experience, but maybe Diana and Esther can clarify this, is like anyone going through the security checkpoint, regardless is the US or any other country in the world, if they have their own specifics in terms of security. And it's true that they can request access to the social media and to the laptops. We cannot do anything about that, because it highly depends on the specific country, and it's not just the US. I mean, if you go to Australia, it will happen the same. Okay, but what I can tell you is not often. I mean, I've been traveling to the US quite often, and I can tell you I have never been asked to disclose my passwords on or to give them, or to hand over my laptop. So I don't know if Esther, Diana, or Eva have other information about it.
Well, from my side, no, I don't know. I have heard recently that the discussion about this, and it's much often much more often check. I would probably say from the experience that probably it will depend also on the, don't want to sound it bad, but probably it really corresponds to nationalities or the countries that you're going to be flying from. For example, I'm Polish, I'm willing to apply always for the visa in much more restricted way. So I would say there is no one flexible line to answer that question, but that's from my experience.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one because I believe that one is pretty much answer. Yeah, the next one, it's from Alex. Candidates, we said that candidates must be employees, but what if he is the founder of the high-tech startup? He's asking whether he's eligible to participate. Maybe this is a question for our colleagues from Tabala.
Yeah, of course you're eligible to participate, Alex. Among the eligible beneficiaries, there are startups, so no problem there. You can go ahead and submit your application if you wish. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So third question was quick that I already did reply. I mean, all the slides and the video for the webinar will be available on the website, and also we will share it on the social media and so on. So we will make sure that, I mean, you get access to the slides and the video and the video. So no worry about that. Okay, fourth question. It's also from Vladimir. He's actually asking if he has an incorporated startup, but just with an auxiliary name and a marketing name. But he's actually, I don't really understand the question. Maybe because he's actually asking us if he wants to incorporate a legal entity, whether he can do it before or after he's accepted. I understand that he has to have the incorporated legal entity before applying, but maybe our colleagues from Tabala can clarify this.
Yeah, on this point, you can check the guidelines in section 7, which is concerned with the contracting phase. You can see all the requirements needed for startups to sign the sub-grantee agreement. The sub-grantee agreement is the final contract between the beneficiary, the explorer, and the NGI Explorers coordinator, which would be Eva in representation of F6S. So there you can see that for this contracting phase to actually be successful, from your startups, we will need a written commitment from your side to set up a legal SME after the program. Hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. Okay, perfect. So I can see the reply from Vladimir. Next question is from Gonzalo. He's asking us, what if my company headquarters are in the US, but my contract is to the Portuguese subsidiary, if he's eligible? I mean, here, what I can tell you, but my colleagues will clarify if needed, is if your company is in the US, I mean, at the end of the day, each one of you have to apply with a European-based company or related to the H2020, according to what we've seen before. It doesn't have to be per se part of the European Union; it can be an associated country. You have all these eligible countries in the guidelines, but you have to apply. I mean, if you are part of this Portuguese company or subsidiary, they will have a specific number in terms of as a peak number, so you can actually apply with their Portuguese one. What I can tell you is, like, it would be really interesting maybe for you if we could actually apply with the per team application option, because you would be able maybe to just find a much better way that you would be able to go to the US, hosting being hosted by the headquarters company. You know, like your company is in Portugal, but it's actually a subsidiary from the US. So you apply to this program through the per team option, saying like, I will go to the headquarters in the US because I want them to be my host. So this could be probably a good option for this per team that we mentioned before. Okay. But again, I mean, you only can apply with the European organization, not with the US one, because again, the European Commission is not sponsoring any company or anyone related to a company that it's non-European or associated countries. Okay. Okay, next question. It's from Gregorio. Okay, he's asking, the US partner for the per team option has to be a US corporation university, or could be also a European company with some of their headquarters in the US. Again, I mean, the US partner has to be pretty much an organization in the US. They can have a branch or the headquarters in Europe. Okay, that's totally fine. But at the end of the day, when you apply to this option, you will be going to the US. So that specific organization has to have a location in the US. As I was mentioning before, it's always good. I mean, if you are working for a university or with a company that has a branch in the US, applying with the Perch Aims is a nice idea, because you can apply saying that, okay, my company organization has a branch in the US and I want to take advantage of that to go there. I don't really care somehow to the network of US knows that you are providing, but I want to go to that specific partner. So this is a really good option for choosing the Perch Aims. So again, I mean, it has to be, it doesn't matter if they have a branch in Europe, but they have to be a location in the US. Okay, next question, to be a little bit brief.
I can jump on this, Jose, because
yes.
the question about, is there already a view on the dates for future calls? Yes, of course, we have that knowledge. The next open call will be launched in January. From January, it will be open till end of March. And the last one will be scheduled by the end of 2020, the last 3 months. So the expeditions will be taking place in the last year of the project, that is 2021. So that's how it looks, the timeline.
Okay, perfect. So next one, it's what about the IP? So probably our colleagues from Zabala can better answer that. I mean, the point of view from the program concerning the intellectual property.
Yeah, I will take over the IP question. Again, in the guidelines, there is a dedicated section for IPR issues. It's section 10. So make sure to read through it. It's the background and foreground aspects of the law. On the as part of the program, we will provide some supporting services for you as a matter of fact during your expedition. And one of them is all the support regarding IPR and knowledge transfer and so on. This is a kind of always a gray area regarding this kind of expeditions, this kind of fellowships. But this would be mostly result in a one-to-one basis with the user that you're actually collaborating with. That means that we will help you reach an agreement with them regarding the expedition and the results from the expedition. But the most overview, the most generic overview with the IPR issues in this law mirror the most other European programs regarding transfer and fellowships for researchers and so on. So it's a very standard approach, and you can get a better view in the guidelines, as I said.
Yes, thank you, Diana. Just if I can complement, just to jump for a second, to make a clear point that we as the consortium, we will not have any interest or any rights absolutely to any intellectual property developed by you. This will be strongly your agreement between your institution and the United States. But as Diana said, we will be providing certain workshop helping you on that issues, what is available, what tools, and how you can really deal with that situation. That's the support what we can provide from our side. Yeah, I think we can go on also.
Okay, so next question. It's from Giedrus, sorry about that if I don't pronounce it correctly. I mean, he's asking about what kind of program is this? Is more like for a product development or for more like a business idea development? So I will briefly jump into that answer. I mean, it will highly depend on the proposed idea that you are applying for. Okay, so if you are a researcher and probably with a more technical background and more technical motivation, probably will be much more related to how can I improve the performance or the extension of my product. Okay. If you have more like an innovator mindset, more like how I can really improve go-to-market a business idea that I'm working on, could be even create this improvement in terms of business. I mean, it doesn't have to be always software. It can be also part of the business. How I can improve my product with the US knowledge that I'm having. What I'll be getting, how I can really extend my business network in the US, because I take advantage of going to the US to extend my clients. So it will highly depend on whether, I mean, your profile. Some background noise, so please mute yourselves. So again, I mean, it will be highly dependent on whether you are a more researcher mindset or if you are more like innovator mindset. Okay. Okay, next question is from Akram. Can a European researcher working in a research center in an associated country participate to the program? As we were mentioning before, I mean, as long as your organization, again, university, SME, startup, or the ones that we have mentioned before, it is located within the European Union or within the associated countries defined by H 2020, it will be totally okay. But again, following the great advice from Diana, please take a look to the guidelines, to the link where we have left there, and also in the website, because all the information about the application is there, including the eligible countries where the organization can be located. Because, I mean, you can always be a European researcher working with I don't know, let's put an example, with a Australian organization. You won't be eligible because the organization is not from this list that we have provided. But as soon as it is part of the associated countries or European Union countries, it will be okay. Okay. Because we are running a little bit of time, let me go quickly through the next questions. Another one from Gonzalo. Is there a limited spot for the open call? Again, I mean, we will have this. I mean, right now, this is the first open call. We will have 2 more open calls next year. Okay. In total, there will be 3 open calls. And just for information, we will have in total maximum seats for 40 explorers in the whole lifetime of the project. So now it will be, you know, more or less around 12 explorers, more or less. So you can see that we will be somehow trying to select ideal candidates. So, I mean, it will be somehow competitive, but I mean, I'm sure that you will be a great pool of participants anyway. Yeah? But yes, I mean, we have a limited space because at the end of the day, we have a limited budget provided by the European Commission. Again, this is a public funded program. Yeah?
Yes, Jose, thank you for that. I could just complement quickly. The number of explorers indeed is limited, but it's also dependent on how you're going to be applying, meaning if you're going to be going for 3 or 6 months. If we're going to be majority of people willing to go for the shorter period of time, of course, then we will be able to sponsor more applicants. But there is absolutely no privilege or priority researchers over innovators or other way around. The only indicator is the excellence of the proposal. So this is what we're gonna be looking for. There is no preferences if someone goes for longer or for shorter period. Really, the highest requirement is the excellence of the proposal, and then your performance during the interview. And of course, the acceptance and approval from the United States partners. So Jose was mentioned very well, 40, but it may expand to up to 45. It depends, as I said, on the time of the period that you're gonna be spending in the United States, because obviously then the budget may change, and we may sponsor a bit more or a bit less applicants. So that's just to complement.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah. And just to complement on the answer before, I mean, we won't have a preference for innovators or researchers. Both profiles will be at the same level. We don't have a specific preference. Again, it will highly depend on the US notes, whether they look for more like a more researcher or more innovator mindset. But again, you can always propose your partner in the US with this per team option again. So I believe I have covered all the questions here. I don't know if I'm missing some or any of them. So now is the time, because we are a little bit behind schedule. So now is the time, or again, you can always send us your questions over the email. But I believe I don't miss any of the questions that have been put in on the chat.
Yes, thank you so much, Jose, for running that Q&A session. I think, yeah, we have covered all the questions that were in the chat. Not to take much more of your time, you can always contact us. The contacts you can see also on the website, also at F6S. So we just want to inform you there will be a second webinar shortly before closure. The first open call, I assume it's not stated yet, but it will be either second or the third week of July. So to give you one more week. So please work on your application, and there will be a second webinar, and we wish you good luck, and we hope to see you maybe in Lisbon, some of you at least for sure. So thank you, have a great week. And of course, the video will be shared. We will upload it on the website, and you will be informed about this. So thank you, and bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.